All right, wonderful. Well, welcome everybody to our Focus Forward series, our very first class of our Focus Forward series. And we are just so excited, so excited to get things going for y'all. First, I want to introduce myself and have my amazing partners in crime introduce themselves. My name is Reagan Danforth House, and I'm a senior sales director, and I live in Austin, Texas, coming to you guys. And I know most of you who are on live right now know us, but we do want to be able to have anyone who's joining us later on through the recordings to be able to know who we are and what we're so excited to just share with y'all. And I actually have been building my business for 25 years. I've been a sales director full time for 20 years. And it is just a joy. I am so passionate about encouraging women and mentoring women to find their own version of success, whatever that looks like to you. So that's what I'm super excited about. And Cheryl, we'd love to hear from you.
Of course. So my name is Cheryl Romero. I am in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am also a senior sales director. I have had my business for 15 years, full-time as a sales director for 13 now. And, this business has been such a blessing to my life. Absolutely incredible. I have two little girls, so I get to be a mom. But for those of you on this recording, and I've just fresh come out of South America for the last 17 days, you guys. So what Mary Kay gives me and my family is complete flexibility to be able to do the things that we love to do and travel the world. And I couldn't ask for a better career choice for myself, and to be able to pass that opportunity on to other women and mentor and coach them through this process of how they can benefit from similar or different things, whatever's important to them, is really special to me. So I absolutely love it. So thanks for being here, you guys, and thanks for anybody in the future watching this recording as well for joining us for this series.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm Tanya Rose. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. I have been here with Mary Kay for 9 years, and a director for 8 of those years. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. Gosh, I wish I could pinpoint one thing that I love about my business, but I just can't. I feel like I go through seasons and different things. So for example, the flexibility to hop on a flight tomorrow because my mom is in the hospital, to be able to do that and not have to panic about trying to get time off, and I can move things around and I can rearrange appointments. So I'm grateful for that. But just last week, I was super grateful to have women around my table and us laughing and sharing the product and what Mary Kay has for them. And so then that was my favorite part. And then, gosh, in January, my favorite part was traveling with my girlfriends for leadership and being able to come together and have a great time in a city that I had never been to before. So I honestly cannot tell you like what my most favorite thing is because every single week or month or day is different. And there's a reason why my business is always just so important. And so I love that it's just so many different things, to so many different layers to our business that I love. So yeah.
You know what? That's very well put, Tanya. I could completely agree with that.
Yeah.
That it does. It's like
Yeah.
any given day, any given week, I'm just grateful for different pieces of it. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Welcome.
Awesome.
You're
So we're
welcome.
going to kick off with reviewing what our mission statement is. And this is something that us powerhouse directors, Tanya, Cheryl, and I worked on together and created. And if you filled out our Google form to officially kind of register for this workshop, you received the workbook that we put together for you. And at the very top of it, it has our mission statement, which is that the Focus Forward series is to help you grow in your skills, clarity, and confidence so you can take action in your business and see increased results toward your goals. And so that is our mission, truly, is that we want to equip you to do what you want with this business. And in Mary Kay, it's so wonderful because we are self-employed. We have so much flexibility, so many choices, you know, no quotas, no territories. And so because of that, sometimes it can feel like we're not even sure what to do next because there's nothing that you have to do because you're self-employed, right? And so, but Mary Kay has given us, Mary Kay Ash, the woman, created a proven business plan and taught us and equipped us with very specific skills that are proven to work. Proven to work. And what we have found is even with all the changes and all the things that are going on, all of the circumstances of the and changes of the last 3 years, the principles and the basics of what we were taught in this business are still holding true. And I believe that that is the case because Mary Kay Ash created a business plan that was very much focused on human nature and on providing a service and providing a connection and a relationship and something that we as humans that will not change. So while the product has changed and, you know, all of our fun sales aids and all of our prizes and all of those things have changed over the years, who we are as people has not changed and will not change. And the desires of our heart, the priorities that are instilled in us from the moment we're created, those things have not changed. And so that is our focus, that Cheryl and Tanya and I want to bring you back. If you've been around a long time, maybe you found yourself just kind of like feeling like you need to reinvent the wheel. And we do need to be willing to adapt. And Mary Kay was the queen of that. Like she was the first one to say, oh, there's this thing called the internet. We need to figure this out, people. You know, I mean, she was always ready to be proactive and to adapt. But she knew that the fundamental business skills and motivations, those are not going to change. And so, I'm going to pass this over to Tanya, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about why our series is called Focus.
Right. Okay. So, oh man, to sum this up. Okay. So I was, I don't even exactly know where I was sitting, but this just really came to me as far as when I was really thinking about when have things kind of rolled really smoothly in my life, whether it's my business, my personal life, my marriage, all that stuff. And when has it been chaos? And what I have found is things can be chaos when there is no focus. Okay. And some of you guys might be feeling that right now where it's like so hard to focus. So it just seems like complete chaos, right? Okay. So when you actually focus, there's a clear image that's produced. And when you have no vision, then there's no focus, right? And so you're trying to produce this vision, you're trying to produce this clear image, but the only way to actually do that is to focus. So I sat down and I just started to think like, okay, since it's a little chaos right now, what can I focus on today? You know, thinking and knowing in my mind that I don't have to have everything figured out. I just have to figure out my next step. So what can I focus on for my next step? Because I realize that focus is necessary to achieve anything, whether it's around your house, whether it's within your marriage, with your kids, with your business. Without that focus, it makes it really hard to achieve anything. Have you guys ever had those days where you were like, wow, the whole day went by and I don't think I completed a single thing. Like, I don't think anything happened that was supposed to happen today. Okay. And so that is how important focus can be. It's not a very exciting word. And it's not something that it's like you jump out of bed and you're like, focus. I love it. I love focus. Focus is pretty. It's sparkly. I love it. I want to wear it. It's not like that. Okay. It's not one of those fun words. And so you just have to know that, you know, within your focus, a clear image will be produced. And so if that's important to you, then focus becomes something that you just do on your daily, so you can at least get the next best step completed. Okay. But here's the catch. Guess what? Your focus is always going to be challenged. It will always be challenged. So don't feel that like, oh, I have so much focus. I have a list. I have 6 most important things to do. I have my planner, my schedule. I have alarms set on my phone, because your focus will always be challenged. So you have to be prepared for that as well. Okay. Another thing you want to also think about is, what are the enemies to your focus? You know, what are those enemies that are blocking your focus? Okay. And I'm not so much talking about your kids. They're not enemies. They're beautiful. They're great. And they're awesome. But is it maybe that you're kind of like just winging it, right? You're just winging it. And so you're winging dinner. You don't know what you're going to make. You're winging who's going to pick up the kids from school. You're winging it. And so you're losing that focus. So that could just be an enemy of that focus, is just kind of winging things and doing that as well. So I started to think about that, and I realized that, okay, I feel like in order to move forward, there has to be some sort of focus. There has to be some sort of focus. And so another thing I want you guys to think about as you guys are going through this series is, you're going to have doubts. Though you're human, there's always going to be doubts. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to doubt your next step. You're going to doubt what you're doing. You're going to doubt where you might have your lead jar at. You're going to doubt the table you just booked for your vendor booth. Like, there's always going to be these doubts, right? Of like, you're going to doubt like, oh, should I go to this conference or should I not? Should I do that? There's doubt. All the best advice I can give you guys is, if you are going to doubt anything, then doubt your doubts. And I'll say that again. If there's anything you're going to doubt, you need to doubt your doubts. Okay. So instead of believing them, maybe you're going to doubt those doubts. And that can take a little bit of practice. So if you are telling yourself, I am not worthy enough to do this, I am not good enough to do this, I am not better than so-and-so, I am not better than that. Okay. So you need to start doubting that doubt, if anything, not your beliefs. Okay. Okay. So that is just pretty much it. So now story time, just to kind of put this into perspective in a funny way. So we are in Nashville for leadership, and we work towards earning our company parties. That's one of our most favorite things to do when we are at any leadership conference, is earning the parties. And this party was a party that we had never been to. They changed the location. It was a different location. I had never been to Nashville, but I also, like, this was a different location that they chose for it. So this was something that was kind of funny, is there was already one leadership conference that had already attended, and we were hearing things that like, oh, make sure you get there early. Make sure you know what you want to eat. There's so many different vendors. Make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have a jacket, because you could be outside for a minute, and it could be cold. And so we're hearing all these things, right, from people who walked the walk and they talked the talk. And we're like, okay, so, all right. So we're taking this advice. We're taking their experience, and you can look at that as like, okay, you're taking Reagan's and Cheryl's and Tanya's advice and their experiences, and they're talking the talk and they're walking the walk, and they're giving us the tools and the keys to work our business. Okay, so that's how we were. We were looking at other directors who had been to that conference the week before, and we're taking all these nuggets of like, oh, that's good. That's good advice. Oh, she's smart. Like, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that, and we wouldn't have thought of that. We would have just went and stood in line. We would have walked into this venue and been shocked at all of the different food vendors. And I'm talking like 50 different food vendors, right? And I'm just, so having that already in our minds of like, oh, okay, the minute we walk in, there's going to be a ton of food options. So how about this? Let's get a plan. And we literally sat there and made a plan, and we each had our own role. And so we looked at the food options. We decided what we each wanted to eat. Then we pulled up the map of the actual location, and we figured out where that vendor was positioned in that location. Then we were like, okay, we've got to get there X amount early so we can stand in line. Let's check the weather so we're, prepared and dressed the way we should be. Okay, so Cheryl, this is your job. Cheryl, and we are literally in line, you guys, doing this, okay? And you would have laughed at us if you guys were flies on the wall, but I was like, okay, so Cheryl, you and I both want Thai food. So your job is to go straight to the Thai food place. I don't want you to look left. Don't look right. Don't look at anyone else. I don't care if they have a sparkly outfit on. You stay focused. You go straight to the Thai place. She's like, okay, got it. I got it. Okay, Reagan, what do you want to eat? So Reagan's like, oh my gosh, I'm dying to have this seafood. It's so great and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, great. So they find the location for the Thai, the seafood, total opposite ends of the, building. And I'm like, okay, Reagan, so you nosedive to where you need to go. Once you enter, you go left, Cheryl goes right. And then my job was to grab a table. That was my only job, my only focus. Even though when I walked in, I knew there was going to be donuts and ice cream and all this stuff, I could not focus on that because I would have been like, oh my God, sprinkles. And then I would have failed my entire mission. Okay. So my focus was a table. Just grab a table, any table. And so as the doors are about to open, we are like, game on. Okay. We each have a focus. We each know exactly what our job is and what we need to do. Okay. So Cheryl's a little nervous. Okay. And Reagan's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to go for my seafood. And I am like, I cannot fail. I cannot fail and not get us a table. I mean, that to me was the most important job because the food vendor's not going to move, but the tables will get filled very quickly, you guys. And so we walk in, we go up these escalators, and within seconds, the minute we get in through the door, it was like Cheryl was like, boom, Reagan was boom, I was boom, like we were off. And I was just searching, table. That's my only job. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm panicking. People are getting tables. They're already saving seats. Okay. Oh my gosh, you cannot fail, Tanya. It's a table, for crying out loud. Find the table. And so I finally find the table. Cheryl finds her Thai food. And Reagan's plan is not working out. Like her line is extremely long. She's like, I'm going to be here for hours. It was just not working. So Reagan had to pivot. She had to have a plan B, which she didn't. We forgot that part. It's okay. Not everything always goes as planned, right? In your business, is everything always perfect? No. Okay. So I struggled. I eventually found a table. So think of it as like you're creating leads and you're getting a bunch of no's for your bookings. I was getting a bunch of no's. I would turn to a table. All of a sudden there were 17 jackets. I'm like, oh, shoot, that one's taken. I would turn left. And then before you know it, the husband's like, I'm so sorry. I'm saving these for like 7 women. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. And so I was getting no after no after no after no until I finally got that yes. And it felt so good. And I literally held onto those 3 chairs with my entire life. And I looked at everybody like, don't you even dare. Do not dare to attempt this table. It is mine. Okay. And then Cheryl's texting me and she's like, okay, I'm in line. I have our food order in. I'm going to go hit up the donuts now. Where are you? I'm going to bring the drinks. So she's doing her own thing, getting dessert and all that. And Reagan is like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm just going to go look for the shortest line. I'm just going to I don't even care what I eat at this point. I'm going to go for the shortest line and then I will be right there. So she's pivoting. She's finding a way, making a way, which you're going to notice that in your business, you're going to find a way and you're going to make a way as well. And then you're going to notice as Cheryl, she was having great luck. She got in line, she ordered, she paid, she even went and got donuts. And I mean, all of this stuff. And so you're going to have times and seasons in your business where you're going to get your Thai food and your donuts and you're going to have a great time. Or you're going to be like Reagan and have to maybe pivot and move that jar because it's just not producing leads for you. Or you're going to be like me, where I am consistently like getting no after no after no after no. And then I get a yes. And it's like a win, right? And then you're just so excited. And we each had $50 to spend on food, which was great because at some point we didn't know what else to get. So we kept eating stuff. And finally, we were just giving money away. And we were just like, has anybody tipped you? No. Okay, great. Take the remainder of this, because $50 per person to eat, you guys, is a lot of money. And so that was our whole thing. So when we finally sat down to eat, we celebrated each other. We talked about our experience. We laughed, and we enjoyed the rest of the night. So that literally was story time of what focus can do, but how your focus can always be challenged as well. Even if you have the exact game plan you're supposed to have, it can also be challenged. So in a nutshell, this is our Focus Forward series moving forward. And it may look like my situation, Cheryl's situation, or Reagan's. Always think about that when you're working your business, how our Nashville party went and what we did and how we had a plan, how we executed a plan, and we did the best that we could, not knowing what the outcome's going to be. And it was different for everybody. I was nervous. Cheryl was nervous. Reagan was she was brave. She was just like, I'm going to find something and I don't even care. And I was just like, didn't want to fail. I didn't want to fail my friends and have them look at me and be like, you couldn't even get a table, And so it was a lot of pressure, you guys. But I just want you to know that it was so worth it and it was so fun. And we would probably laugh about this story forever. But it's just so relatable how focus can be so important, no matter if it's in your business, if you're trying to get into a leadership party, or if you're working with your kids or your family or in your marriage or anything like that. Focus is going to always be the center of it. That is
Excellent. I love it. Begin with the end in mind. That's kind of what I was like. That's one of those, it's like you go into it, and that's what we want, is to help you guys have that focus of what is my next best step when I need to pivot, like that we're here to help you with options of how to pivot. But that if we had gone into that party, we were all like, thank goodness we at least came up with some kind of game plan, because we would have spent the whole first hour trying to figure out what to do. And we wouldn't have been able to enjoy it as much if we had not listened to the people that were before us. So I love it. Thank you, Tanya, so much for your fun story. And so Cheryl, now I'm going to pass it over to you to just talk a little bit about what's next.
Yeah. So, you guys, this has been such a great effort of the three of us putting this series together for you guys. And thank you for all of you that did fill out the Google Form questionnaire. I'm actually going to share a little bit of what you're excited about and why that just reinforces our excitement, because, we birthed this series at Leadership. We worked very hard on putting it together, and we laughed and laughed about our leadership party experience and how applicable that was to being able to have a focus and learn from the people who go before you. And we want to be those people who have gone before you with the experiences that we have had in this business. And so I'm going to highlight 2 of the questions that we asked you on that questionnaire, and just get you excited for yourself and all of your peers that are here. And if you're watching the recording, and this is later on than when we recorded the series, that you can relate to some of what these women are saying. And in this first series that we're doing, as Reagan had already mentioned in the beginning, you might be well seasoned in your business. This might be a refresher. What I love, and I'll reiterate what Reagan said, is that the basics never change. And that's why we're so excited about this series, is the fundamentals of this business remain the same, whether you've been in for 20 years or this is like your second month, right? And so this is applicable to everyone. And the answers that you guys have given on this questionnaire that we're so excited about are from all of those ranges. So the first question that we asked, and I'm just going to, without any names or anything, let everybody know what everyone's excited about. That question was, as Tanya had talked about, there's a lot that is going to get in the way of our focus as far as distractions go. And so part of this Focus Forward series is being able to minimize those distractions. So we asked you guys, if you were able to minimize distractions and maximize your focus, what would be a crystal clear vision for you and your business? So some of you guys are already thinking about that, and we wanted you to think about that to go into this series with a goal in mind. And this ranges from everything from selling and growing as much as possible, getting more customers, more sales, loving to have this as a source of income for your family, more sales, generating leads, hosting parties, red jacket, and moving on up from there, regaining desire, focus of what's possible, having forward movement and momentum. We have women on here that want to be directors, that want to help to teach people and help people. We have people who want to do more facials, hold at least one party a week, have great customer service, move up the career path, build customers, build a team. Again, have parties, customer service. You can tell there's a pattern here, right? I love this one. Be a profitable consultant. We are going to teach you how this business works because that's what it's designed to do. Establishing relationships and helping others feel good about themselves. I love that one. And paying off debt. Again, that's great. This is a profitable business. And to be consistent with those parties and those facials. So that is what you guys that filled out the questionnaire really have that vision for your business. Next question that we asked was based off our mission statement and our planned weekly topics. And that is on that first page of your workbook that you have. Hopefully you have it nearby if you want to review those topics. What are you most looking forward to getting out of this series? And this is where we get even more excited too. We want to know your vision. We want to know what you're looking for. But to know that you're looking forward to this as much as we are, we have, like I said, new to seasoned that, you know, one says, I'm still so new to all of this. So to have a group of supporting women help and guide me and help me grow in something, I'm really looking forward to. Time management, increasing sales, more customers, more sales, honing in my focus and growing my business, learning everything I can for success, updating my skills, getting back into the rhythm and catching up with everything that's new, better closing techniques, more ideas for generating leads, more confidence in selling and talking about products, just all around more of a solid foundation. Tips to hold parties and facials to develop my personal style. I love that. Everything has a personal style in this business. Building team members, when and how to book appointments, where to book appointments, a new start, a purpose, a desire to continue to grow my business, gaining and managing clients, integrating into a busy schedule, confidence. Confidence was repeated several times during this. Time management, self-growth, improving my vision, finding new ideas, gaining confidence, money management, and new lead generation. So let me just tell you that based on what we had already designed and then we asked you what you were excited about, that we are serving that to you on a silver platter for these next 13 weeks. This is what you are going to get out of this series. And like I said, you can see each week's topic that we are going to go into. It'll be all the basics, but it will be enough for you to be able to take everything that you told us you want to get out of this. And that is what we are giving you. So we are so excited and we hope that you feel the same way. And that now that you know what your sister consultants are also looking for, that as we go through this, you can, get to know them better and learn how to support them as well through this camaraderie that we have in this powerhouse area of ours. So that is what I wanted to share, Reagan.
Yay, thank you so much, Cheryl. So as you can see, we are all just on board. We are on board to support you in the areas that you want to grow, the areas that you know you have room for improvement. And some of you may have areas in that full circle, and we're going to talk a lot about full circle success and what it means to work full circle. And you think of it like a wheel, right? And if one of the spokes is out, you're just not going to have that same flow. You're not going to build that same momentum. And so for some of you, you're learning all of the different spokes of the wheel, but keep in mind that none of you comes into Mary Kay without skills and experience. You may have never sold anything before, or maybe you have. Maybe you've never had any type of leadership role. Maybe you have. Maybe you already bring to the table amazing time management skills. Maybe you don't. We all come with areas of growth and areas of strength. And so you can bring your strengths that you already have, your skills and experiences from all of your other jobs and life and raising a family and being in the military, whatever is your background, you have a lot of skills that you're already bringing to the table. So let's just start there. First of all, just take a second, because I feel like, I don't know, I just felt like, you know what, maybe you need to be reminded of that. You are not starting, even if you're a brand new consultant, you're not starting from square one. You are bringing everything with you to the table that you have. But that's different for some people. And, everyone's a little bit different. And so, but then there are also, no matter, maybe you've been in sales before, but you've never been in this company before. You've never had this experience. Maybe you've even been in Mary Kay before, but this is a new start and you're not the same person you were last time. And you've got new opportunities and new focus. And so just because, maybe we had shown up to that same party last year and been a big hot mess and ended up at the end of the night, like barely even finding anything to eat because we couldn't be decisive or whatever. But you know what? The next year, we would not have that same experience because we would be able to bring it with us. And so any past experience you've had that you found success, remember that. Any past experience that you've had where you had failure, it's okay to remember and learn from that, but you got to release it and move on and know that it is not the same as last time. And so that is why we are focusing forward, because when you focus forward, it gives you that clear vision, that clear intention, and you're not stumbling over, what's behind you. You are focusing forward. And so I want to take a minute and grant, this is our first one. So we're doing some setting you up, right? We're setting things up. The next classes are going to go straight into more focused skills training. So those of you who are D personalities and C personalities, and you were like, I'm not learning a whole lot yet. Don't worry. We are setting you up very intentionally. All right. And the rest of the classes are going to be a whole lot of information. So don't worry, we got you covered. But I do want to take a minute to, again, bring you to this workbook and walk you through how this is set up to support your success through the next 13 weeks. All right. And so when you look at it, each date we've got the calendar, so you know what to expect, what our main focus and topics will be each week. And then you also have a list of resources. The resources that are listed in pink are included in the workbook. So if you filled that Google Doc out in time to get a free workbook from your director, you already have this. If you did not, you can get this from her to print out. Okay, so definitely print it out. And the ones that are in pink are the ones that are included in the workbook. Anything that's not in pink, anything that's black, those are extra resources that we are going to be posting in our Facebook groups. So your director communicates, we don't all communicate the same way. Some of us do more through Facebook, some of us email, some of us a website, some of us a Dropbox. So however your director gets information to you, you will have access to this workbook so you can print it anytime. And if you want extra pages, there might be some sheets that you want to be able to print again. And so you'll have access to that. And so those are things that are in black so that you know that you want to get those and make sure that for that week. Okay. Also on this first page, it talks about the recognition. Now, this is for those of you who are participating during this 13-week series. All right. So if you're watching the recording and things like that, you can touch base with your director and say, hey, I want to do this course. Can I make a commitment to you and earn prizes? All right. And so that is something that, may or may not be an option down the road. But for those of you right now, you get all the fun, sparkly goodies. And so when you turn in your weekly homework each week to your director, then you are going to get recognition at the beginning of each Zoom. So before we start the recording each week, we are going to recognize those of you who set a goal, committed to a goal, and reached the goal. All right, and turned that in. And it may be that, you set a goal for 10 whatevers and you hit 5. All right. And so sometimes that's part of it's that steps to success. Okay. But the main thing is that you're committing, you're following up, and you're being accountable, and you're submitting that to your director. And so we're going to talk a little bit later about how you can do that, how you can submit this to the director. The second page of the workbook is to make this super simple for you. And that is that each week we have very specific assignments. I should have pulled this up so I could do like screen share or something. But each week we laid out your 3 or 4, see, speak and it shall be so, because my directors are amazing. Okay, so that is the first page. The second page is the homework checklist. So we wanted to give you somewhere for just for your ease to say, yep, I did that, I did that, I did that. Okay. And then you will be submitting your assignments to your director. And again, we'll talk about that at another time of exactly how you're going to submit these. All right. So that is the homework. Then the workbook follows through weekly. So do not feel like you need to sit down and complete everything in this workbook. This is 13 weeks of assignments. And we want you to know that throughout this course, you are going to be able to customize assignments. All right. And so we are going to talk you through each individual one, and you will be able to set your own goals. So we're not going to tell you what your goals are. Some of them are very simple and basic, like filling out a worksheet or something like that. But some of them are more like to do specifically with a certain like amount of activities. And you're going to get to customize that and commit to that at the end of the call, what you're willing to do. The other thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to have a secret word. So you might see here, it has the homework assignment and then a blank spot for the secret word. And that is because part of getting that recognition and prizes from your director involves knowing that you actually watched and paid attention and took notes of this training session. All right. And so we have a secret word, and it's going to be at a different spot. Sometimes it'll be at the beginning, sometimes it'll be at the very end, but most of the time it's going to be somewhere in the middle. So are you guys ready for your first secret word? Okay, make sure you write this down. The secret word, and do not put it in the chat. All right, because we don't want this to pop up where somebody can like see it before they get to it. The first secret word this week is commitment. So write that down, commitment. All right, so each week you're going to be filling in that word in your workbook right there that Cheryl's got highlighted. And this week it is commitment. All right, and the reason for that is because what we're going to talk about next is commitment to your why. In order for this to be worth your time, there has to be a certain level of openness and willingness to learn, to think a new thought, to step out of your comfort zone and maybe try something that you've never tried before, because you know that we cannot do the same thing and expect different results. And so I believe, and my prayer is that each and every one of you who is here because you are willing and open to learn something new, to stretch yourself in some way. Now, for some of you, you're ready for quantum leaps. I mean, you are ready for explosive growth and magical momentum. All right. You are ready for a holy hustle. You know that you want to make that like things happen. All right. And some of you, you're okay where you are, but you are also, you love to be together and you love to learn, and you're going to be able to do a little bit more, maybe stretch a little bit. And again, we want you to get you. It has to be your choice. We can't decide that for you. We can't motivate you. You can only motivate yourself. We can inspire you and we can equip you. But if I hand you a tool the tool, with me holding the tool right here, does you no good, right? If you want to hang a picture and I have a hammer in my hands, I'm like, look at this hammer. Isn't this hammer amazing? Let me tell you all, I will show you how well this hammer works. Isn't it great? And if you hit it on this nail, I'm going to show you hitting it, but you never take the hammer and start practicing hitting a nail, you're never going to hang a picture, right? And so there is that piece of like being ready and willing to receive that new tool. And then to practice it, because we can learn by watching, but we can only master by doing. And we can only get personal results by personal effort. So you can watch Cheryl's success story, and you can watch Tanya's amazing skincare party. And you can, you can watch all of that, and you can participate by cheering her on and even giving her some suggestions, and you can learn a lot, but you will never get the results yourself, and you will never get the confidence, and you will never get the mastery if you aren't willing to go out and find your way and do it and have imperfect progress. And so that's what we're excited about, is to equip you with an opportunity to create, to take the proven plan, but do it at your pace. All right. And so the commitment is totally up to you. And then having that accountability to your director is super helpful. Now, a lot of people will tell me all the time, like, Reagan, I just need accountability. I just need to be accountable. I just need to be accountable. I'm like, okay, be accountable. I can't fire you, and I'm not going to ever quit on you. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere, And so I'm here. You can be accountable to me, but that's your choice by each week deciding that no matter what, you're going to turn in your results, even if your results aren't what you want them to be, that you're going to get in that habit of imperfect progress, and that you are willing to be accountable, even if that accountability is, you know what, this week just got away from me. Okay, great. When you have that accountability, then you can have that conversation of, okay, let's talk about why. Now, was it a real crisis that was deserving and warranted you dropping this, this goal and this commitment in order to handle the crisis? Or was it life and a distraction and something that maybe you weren't expecting it, but that, like, what could you have done? Maybe not 100% of what you expected or planned to do, but looking back, taking the emotion out of it, is there a way you could have done maybe half of what you thought you were going to do? And then you would be like that step further. Like, that's where see the difference of like being open to accountability and coaching. Even it's not, accountability doesn't mean I reach out to you and tell you when I've been 100% successful. Okay. Accountability is, here's what I did. Here's what I didn't do. Here's where I'm struggling. I need, how can I do better next time? Right. And so that's what gets us super excited, is about being able to not just dump, a bunch of information on you, but to walk with you through the process of true entrepreneurial growth. And then the other piece of that that's exciting is the encouragement of each other, that we have a sisterhood where we really do cheer each other on for success, that you guys are able to watch each other in your successes, and growing in your individual strengths, your unique talents and giftings, celebrate each other, and then spur each other onward and upward, but also help each other. I know that we have people in our unit, and I know y'all's unit is exactly the same. We have some consultants who are just really good at the social media stuff, and some people that still really don't even want to be on Facebook. And then we have other people who have had wild success with at home, at the table skincare parties, but they've never done a virtual party. And then we have people who, we all have different strengths and knowledge and abilities in areas that we're more confident or more a little more daring in. And so we get to encourage and grow together. And that is where, that's where the magic, that chemistry happens. is when you put a room full of women on fire to support each other and to make a change, that's unstoppable. That's palpable. You can feel that. Even through Zoom, we can feel that. And so I encourage you, even on these Zooms, like do the gallery view. I'm spotlighting, for the recording and stuff like that, but do the gallery view, look at each other, smile at each other, like encourage each other, and so that you realize that you're not in this alone. This isn't me just talking to you. This is a room of over 20 of us, coming together and encouraging each other and learning and growing. And so the last thing that I want to talk about, and this is actually like the first, like the nugget of training that we're going to talk about today. And that is the importance of discovering your why. Now, real quickly, before we do that, because there is a page inserted in our workbook before we get to that part called the contact list. All right. It's your 100. It's a place for you to put 100 names. Who do you know with skin? Who would you invite to your wedding? Okay. And so over the course of the first couple of weeks, we're going to be working on this list. Now, for some of you, you will be able to fill this out immediately. You just pull up your phone, you pull up your Facebook friends, you got 100 people. Now, listen, this is if she is already a Mary Kay consultant or she is already a Mary Kay customer to someone else, she cannot go on this list. You can have men on this list, absolutely, because those are some great customers that we have for sure. Anyone 18 and up, all right? If you can think of someone who's not 18, really, I would even focus on 21. If she's under 21, maybe it's because you also know her mom. Maybe just have that be one line. And, it's like a mom and her 2 daughters, maybe have that be one line and not 100 or, 3 or whatever. But we're going to walk through some different ways. And again, that can also be a personal coaching conversation with your director, but growing this list. And I encourage you to if you're taking this workbook with you everywhere you go, take it with you. If not, take that piece of paper out and hole punch it and put it in your date book. Or maybe start, if you're like you do everything on your phone, start in your notes, your list of 100 names. That's another way to do it. But this is going to be something that we will really work from later on. And so get out your phone, get out your Facebook, get out your Instagram, get out your PTA directory, your neighborhood directory, your church directory. And people that you start out with people that you have met. And even if you have someone that maybe she was a customer, but it's been a while, you've lost touch, she hasn't reordered her Miracle Set in a while, I would put her name for sure. Okay. So start on that list. All right. And then after that, we have our monthly IPA tracking. So these are in the front because we have one for each month. Now, this is a sheet that you are able to turn in for monthly recognition, but we also do it weekly. So it's a cumulative. So you've got week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, as you can see on the screen. And so you are tracking the activity. So for example, if you do D, one sharing with your director following up. So she either does a pearls of sharing with you, or maybe you're already a red jacket, you've already done sharing appointments or something like that. The director does a follow-up just to answer questions, fill in any gaps, and help kind of get that final yes or no. So you would put a D in one of these bubbles of week 1. So at the end of the week, you've got, D, K, P, A, J, and that's how you're tracking how many activities you did that week. And you get to set the goal. So it says here, part-time consultant completes 5 IPAs each week. Full-time consultant, 10, and a leadership or car driver is 15. All right. And so that helps you to kind of gauge. And then the last thing that I want to share with you about this, well, I guess 2 things, is when you look at these, you should be able to notice that some of these are in all caps in like a clear font, and others are in not all caps and they are italicized. The items that are all caps, those are actual income producing activities. something that we've learned in Mary Kay is that we can think about it all the time. We can wear ourselves out thinking about it. I have had on more than one occasion a consultant say, well, I tried it and it just never worked. Or, I put so much time into it and I haven't made any money. Okay, so that does happen. However, I have never had a consultant say, I held 6 parties this month and nothing happened in my business. I have never had somebody say, I reached out to 100 contacts and not one of them turned into a booking. Especially when you're doing it with the skills that we are giving you, with the plan. Like, we have a funny joke in our national area because one of the directors that was one of my MK mamas, she's been a director since I was itty bitty, and she would turn in something kind of like this, and she would turn in her sharing appointments, and it wasn't until she wasn't getting any team members. And so finally my mom, who was her director at the time, and she was a consultant, she wasn't a director yet, and she just wasn't building, and she's turning in her weekly accomplishment sheets, and she's saying that she's sharing with everyone. And finally my mom said, well, what exactly are you saying to them? And she said, well, I just say, if you ever think about doing something like this, let me know. Because she was too shy and nervous and unclear about what to say to actually hold what would be considered a sharing appointment with the marketing plan and answering their questions and getting their feedback and getting to know them and all of those things. And so that's where it's so important that you are learning the skills and that you're applying. It's like, I tried to make a cake. Well, what did you do? Well, I threw some flour and some eggs and I whipped it and I put it in the refrigerator and it didn't make a cake. Oh, well, you missed that's not the right process to get the result that you want. So the process is really important. And so that is why we have in here that you can look at it so that you can just have your own accountability and your director too during your coaching calls. And you can see if maybe you're not doing any of the things that are actually income producing activities. You're just doing everything around it. Like you're ordering product, but you're not really selling it. Or you're going to the weekly meeting, but you're not holding any appointments. Or you're not bringing guests, you're attending virtual events, but you're not having any guests at them. You're going to seminar every year. That's wonderful. And those things 100% can make a difference in your business. But if you're only doing those things, this is a hobby, and that's okay too. If you want this to be a hobby, that's great. Hobbies don't pay though. If you want this to be a business, you have to treat it like a business and do the business activities. All right. And so that's just another kind of level of like that personal accountability. If you're not getting the results, but you're doing activities, look at the activities that you're doing and see if maybe you're avoiding the things that are stretching you outside of your comfort zone a little bit more. I've been guilty of that. Dusting your inventory does not make you money. Labeling stuff does not make you money. These are all things that need to be done and they support your business, but they're not the things that are going to grow an income for you and your family. Okay. And so the way that we have that each week for you to update the week and turn that into your director in order to get the recognition and prizes. And then at the very bottom, it just has the bubble sheet with the booking attempts. That is a chance for you to, again, just have that accountability of, well, how many booking attempts did you make? And it can be texting, calling, Facebook follow-up, but it's follow-up, you guys. It takes at least 8 attempts in reaching out on average to actually turn an initial contact into a booking. Okay, so that's normal. So we want you to get used to the numbers because it really is a numbers game. Okay, and then the last part is, this is the main part of your homework assignment for this week, and that is discover your why. And so it's page 3A, and it's information taken out of a very successful women's training organization called DSWA. And I'm just going to read the quote at the top. It says, every day, spend time with it, read it, look at the picture, carry it around with you in your mind and feel it in your body. When you do this every day, it will create momentum for you and motivate you to keep going no matter what comes your way. And so it is really important, just like with Tanya's story at the restaurant, just like her experience of when in life have I been most successful? It's when she's had a clear focus. She's had the outcome, the result in mind. So when, if you want your marriage to be successful, do you have a clear picture of what a successful marriage looks like? And are you making choices that are in alignment to support that goal? When you have a goal of health and fitness, are you clear about what does that mean to you? And are you making choices in alignment with that? And do you have a clear vision? When I go to the gym, I have learned how motivated I am when I have a clear vision of like my deadline of like the swimsuit or the outfit that I want to be able to wear by such and such date, or the evening gown at seminar that I want to be able to wear by such and such date. So when I don't feel like getting out of bed, or I'm even in the middle of my workout class and I want to quit and I'm dying and I can't breathe or whatever it is, I picture that and I remember why I'm pushing myself, why being sore the next day will be worth it, all of those things. And so that is true with every area in life, just like Tanya said. But if you wake up every day just to see what happens, then you're going to end up somewhere, but you're not going to end up on purpose. And so we want you to end up on purpose. We want you to have that focus, and that focus comes by getting totally clear around your why, because most days you're not going to feel like it. And I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. Your directors are going to probably get really mad at me. They won't. We don't feel like it. We don't feel like doing a lot of the parts of our job in that moment. Picking up the phone for that first phone call is like the worst. But by the third or fourth phone call, we're on a roll. And we were only going to make 10, but we ended up making 15. We, in our unit, we've all admitted that we don't feel like suiting up and showing up a lot of Tuesday nights. I'm already fading, it's like, I'm done. I've had a day and my kids are home and I'm ready to like get in bed and watch a movie. But it's worth it because I have a goal in mind. I have a vision. I have a why. And so you're not going to feel like doing most of these things on most days. And that's okay. You're not doing it because it's easy. Now we're lucky. At least our job is mostly fun, right? For the most part, we get to have a lot of fun. Like I think about what other people have to do for jobs every day, and I can't even imagine. I think, wow, I don't feel like going to work sometimes, and I have the best job in the world. I can only imagine these people that get up every single day and go to a job they don't even want to go to. And so it's so, so important, y'all, that you take the time to work through this. So the discover your why, it's important to read this. Please read this. And then the next page is the questions for you to answer. Now, we did create a little bit of space here, but honestly, you're going to want to sit down with a journal, okay, or a notebook. Like this is something for you to pray about. This is something for you to maybe read all of the questions tonight. See if some of them really stand out to you and you're ready to start like writing that down. Some of them you may need to sit with for a little bit. Have this with you. Read them again in the morning when you wake up. Pray over them. Journal about them. See, I'm really good with journaling. Like when I start writing in my journal, I don't even know where I'm going to go. That's one of the ways that I process. And one of the ways that the Lord speaks to me is through my journaling. Once I start writing, it's like he just downloads. And so, but usually when I start writing, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to write today. God, I love you. Thank you for it. I start with my gratitude. And then I start to just kind of talk about maybe what's on my mind. And then the next thing I know, it's like, whoosh, all of the things that I had not given myself a chance to think about, and process until that moment. And so your why is your deep emotional reason for building your Mary Kay business. It connects your business to your life vision and goals, and is part of your life vision that depends on your business success. Okay, so without a why, you can easily become confused about which business choices best serve you. You also can get burned out. You also can allow the frustrations and the distractions to determine. Without a why, you're going to have whatever is immediate is always going to get your attention. You're not going to have clarity around what to say yes to and what to say no to. There will always be good things available to you, or things that other people will determine for you should be important uses of your time. I cannot tell you how many times I have had people who were completely convinced that I should be doing this or on this board or volunteering here or working for them at this job because I'd be so good at it. Well, of course I'd be good at it. When you're amazing and you're confident and you're skilled, of course there will be other options. When you're standing in front of your children, or their father is standing right in front of them and you're 10 rooms away, they're still going to come find you because they're going to have something that they think you should be doing in that moment for them. Okay, so there will always be something in front of you that you could be doing. Okay, and so when you don't have clarity around your why, that will always be the next thing. You will be in reactive mode instead of proactive mode. But when your purpose is clear, decisions become much easier. And so really truly take time to explore these questions, to dig deep into these questions, and to revisit them. Because my why when I started and I was 18 was completely different than when I was 24 and became a full-time sales director and quit my job that everybody thought I was crazy to do, because I was single, owned my own home, no kids, no husband, no roommate, no backup plan. Okay, so people thought I was insane. Oh, and I had just moved to Austin, so I didn't know anybody. So my why as a 24-year-old single woman with no children was very different than it is now as a 43-year-old woman, mother of 2. So your why will change. So when you came in, however many years or even weeks ago, your why might have already changed. It might have shifted. And it's so important to give yourself the chance to revisit that. All right. And so that's what this homework is designed to do, is to help you ask yourself the questions. And you guys, dig deep. Don't be afraid. And also that willingness, it's getting the clarity around your vision, being willing to follow a proven plan, and then being willing to track, because Mary Kay always taught us that a tracked number grows. And so what this tracking sheet does is it brings in the focus of what to do. And so you've got your why I'm doing it, what I'm doing, and then who gets to be a part of the beginning with my contact list. Okay, so we are gonna stop the recording and review your homework assignment and have some Q&A. But before I do, Tanya, Cheryl, is there anything else that you think needs to be added to the series recording? Okay, wonderful. Well, for those of you who are watching this recording, I really do hope that you will reach out to whoever is your sales director, communicate that you watched the recording, and we do have, one of the things that we did want on the recording that I forgot to tell you about is our Voxer group. So just during the next 13 weeks, we are going to have a Voxer, that's V as in Victor, like boxer, only with a V. And so we are going to create a Voxer group for all consultants who are participating March, April, May in this focus class. So even if you can't be live, in fact, especially if you are not on this live event, you really want to be a part of that Voxer group. So you can download the free app. And then once you do, you are going to Vox me at hold on, I wrote it down. Oh, there it is. RD House for Reagan Danforth House. RD House 042. All right. RD House 042. You will Vox me so that I can then add you to this group. And this group is going to be specifically for Q&A, encouragement, recognition, all of that fun stuff to support you throughout the week in between these classes. Okay, so I did want that to be on the recording. So thank you. We look forward to hearing you on Voxer and seeing you all next week. Those of you who are live, don't go anywhere because we're not done. We're just going to finish the recorded portion.